Well, hello, friends. It is March 7th, 2026. Kind of been absent for a little bit. A lot of people say I kind of disappear, and it's true. In wintertime, I seemingly have a grizzly bear mentality, which means I go in a cave and hibernate for a little while. So anyway, a lot of things going on in the world, but one of the things I was going to talk about from what I see, and this is what schools should be teaching, okay, and they don't. It's supposed to be a thinking. Now that you're on your own, the schools should be throwing ideas and thoughts to this next generation as how to think critically and analytically, but it seemingly isn't going that way. There are exceptions to that, but so I'm watching the news. Obviously, there's the Iran war going on, and I see a lot of alternative. So the problem with YouTube or Facebook, if you're looking at something and you comment on it or you save it or whatever, the algorithm is built to bring you more similar content, right? But I do look around just because I'm a curious person. And so when I see these events in Iran, I look at them and I go, yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. We don't want to have a long, drawn-out war. I don't think anybody in the entire world wants that. But at some point, you have to look at certain conditions that kind of come into play and the long-term objective. You know, we didn't do very good in Iraq. We didn't, you know, we need to really stay out of everybody else's business. However, in the case of Iran, there were a lot of other things that came into play, and it was a weapon thing. And I mean, if you don't believe this is American war, you got to start asking yourself, well, what happened in 1979? I watched a little bit, and I did some research, and yes, it is America's war. These people want to take Israel down. They want to take America down. And I don't care which country. Any country that says, hey, I want to take Great Britain down, I want to take France down, I want to take... You got to look at them and go, oh, hold it here, right? You know, you would hope we'd have a little more peace in the thing. And so I look at some of the alternative media and some of the things that they say, and it's very dishonest. As I analyze and I put together the history, to me, you're being, you know, it's good to always see the other point of view, all right? But the dishonesty and the total, you know, like you'll see pictures of all these, you know, all these things going on. Well, that picture was from 2 years ago showing this crowd. That's dishonest. You're not showing exactly what these people are going through. I'm all for freedom. Let the country prosper on their own. They had a very difficult country to live in. And if you don't believe me, just think COVID. But instead of just having HR calling you and say, hey, you got to wear a mask, they just have some thugs come in and beat you up, maybe go decapitate you. So let's just put everything in the proper context. But where I'm going with this is college should be having you think like, hey, is this true? Because all it takes is Iran, China, anybody that doesn't have the interest of the United States or any free country in the world, if they don't have their best interests, they can influence people based on false facts and everything like that. So you have to go to school to learn how do I disseminate information and how true really is it, you know. Everybody likes the idea of socialism. Hey, there's probably some good things in it, but they just don't work, okay? So all you got to do is look at California and look at the affordability crisis. Everybody makes good money in California. The weather is great, but you have no affordable housing. Government spent all of this money under the guise of, hey, we're helping the people, right? And where I'm going to go with this is I recently had a birthday, and someone sent me what it cost to have a baby in 1962. Not that I was born in 1962, but I was talking about, hey, I don't know what the average cost of having a baby in the United States is. Anyway, it showed a 5-night hospital stay, delivery, doctor's fees, everything like that was $550, okay? Now, some people say, oh yeah, but minimum wage was only 50 cents or something. I don't know what they'd said. But I was like, first off, who works for minimum wage? Hey, if you know how to hustle and you don't mind working, you are not working for minimum wage, okay? So never put minimum wage on the table with me unless you're just trying to do the absolute minimum. So it was $550, 1962. So I go to the inflation calculator, and in today's dollars, you could go to the hospital, have a baby, have 5-night stay for about $5,600. Okay, sounds good. That's the inflation care. That's what it should cost. But under the guise of the government is going to lower the cost of health care, when you get these people involved, everything becomes corruptible, and it also gets to be this big bureaucracy. So what do hospitals do? Well, we're going to start, so the government will only reimburse, or insurance companies will only reimburse for this much because it's a government mandate. So now you have everybody in the food chain going, hey, when they come in with a broken finger, automatically check, go have more tests done. And it has nothing to do with why you're there. Because they can charge that, insurance company, yep, mandate, this, that, all of our healthcare costs go up, okay? That's just one example, and it's factually true, okay? Anytime you have the government telling you, hey, we're here to lower the cost. The government doesn't produce anything, so they don't know how to lower the cost. Free markets know how to lower the cost. I'm just saying, and you don't have to believe me. I told you what date it is today, right? Let's see how New York works out. We've got this beautiful idea of, hey, we're going to have rent freezes and it's going to be this affordable. Let's just see how it works, because the innovation and the capital and the entrepreneurs, you got to have them be able to get in there and let the market dictate it. If I can deliver something to you that's higher quality and a lower price, I deserve the reward. But if I don't have that incentive, then I've got a problem, right? That's why socialism, communism, all of these things where the government is in control of your life has never worked, because they forget the human condition is, a lot of people, it's just to do the minimum. Now, Bradford, and I think I've talked about this before, and the Pilgrims, they landed on Plymouth Rock. In their first year, they looked at everything and said, hey, we're all going to have to get together to produce to be able to survive the winter, right? What do? They starve. And it's not because they didn't have enough time to set everything up and get everything in motion. The next year, Bradford says, hey, if you produce more, you get to keep the fruits of your labor. And that's where they had an abundance, because the incentive was to produce. End of story. Okay? So you know where I stand. I'm not politically left or right. I'm common sense. Hey, let's do the right thing. Something that we need to instill into our behaviors is do the right thing. Just look at what's going on in the world. Those people in Iran, free. They can live their life. It's not like we're going over there and saying, hey, we're going to run your country. Just look at Venezuela, an armpit, based on these great concepts of, I'm going to change society, but I'm going to dictate it to you. Look at the poverty, look at the grief, look at the messed up lives. That's today's take. I should be able to start churning out videos on a regular basis. Hope to see you soon. Thanks for watching.